5 minutes of touching per night without the goal of having sex. It's just touching, it's connection, but we're gonna take the penetration off the table for 7 days.
Well, let me ask you then, if you could challenge listeners to do one thing, make one change to improve their intimacy in the next 7 days, what would it be?
Commit to 5 minutes of non-sexual touch.
Okay.
So this could be, so it's not about sex or like non-penetrative sex. You're just gonna, one person, I'm going to ask you to switch. So for 5 minutes, you're going to give your partner a shoulder massage. You're going to rub their inner elbow. Maybe you focus on the secondary erogenous zones, but like just other, like inner elbow, nape of the neck, or just a massage. You're not in the purpose of getting aroused, just the purpose of like touching different nerve endings that feel good, and then you switch. And you're taking penetrative sex off the table. You're getting to, I guess I shouldn't say, 5 minutes of touching per night without the goal of having sex. It's just touching, it's connection, and then you switch. So I'm going to receive for 5 minutes, then my partner's going to receive for 5 minutes, and we're just going to give each other a massage. We're going to hug, we're going to touch, but we're not going to we're going to take the old penetration off the table for 7 days. We're going to do everything else, and we're going to connect, but it's not going to see. Maybe it'll be longer than 5 minutes. But if you intentionally touch without the goal of orgasm, without the goal of penetration, couples are really going to find that they're going to deepen their connection, their intimacy, and they might just find out that arousal will come back and that desire, but they're not allowed to finish in the old in and out.
Okay. All right. Well, people, if you try that, let us know how it goes. Oh, so I want to ask you, I'm going to do like a little rapid fire. So I'll name a problem. You give us a quick solution.
Perfect. I love it.
So if you're exhausted by the end of the day and that's keeping you from wanting to have sex.
Have sex in the morning.
Okay.
Have sex in the morning, have sex on the weekend. Find the time of day that you do want to have sex. Doesn't have to be at night. That's another one of those myths.
If stress is shutting down my desire, what is the quick reset protocol?
Quick reset protocol is to practice 2 minutes of breathing with yourself or your partner. Breath changes everything. I cannot emphasize that enough, but just take some time to breathe, calm. It's all about nervous system regulation. Calm your nervous system.
I love that. Hormonal changes are making me feel disconnected from my body. What's one practice that can help?
If you know that it's hormones, then get your hormones checked out. Maybe see if hormone replacement therapy is right for you, but also just get curious. Is it really just hormones, or what else is going on too?
So I want to ask you, in your professional opinion, because we've got a couple of decades under your belt, the thousands upon thousands of people that you have talked with, 70% of divorces are initiated by women midlife. What do you think's not being addressed in relationships that's contributing to this?
I think women's needs are not getting met across the board. I think that women really struggle with putting themselves first, asking for what they want emotionally, relationally, sexually, spiritually. And so I think at this time in life that women are exhausted, they're tired, and maybe they are depleted by their hormones, and maybe they've had enough decades where they're like, I just really can't take it anymore. And so I think that for women to say, I matter, my needs matter, I'm going to be my own best advocate, and I'm going to ask for it. And so the solve to this, though, is I don't want to see women going through divorce this time is the practice of self-compassion and realizing that your needs matter.
Mm-hmm. For couples who are listening to this right now, and I want to be mindful because you were like, it tends to be one person who tries to fix everything, and that being the woman. So I want to make sure that like both people are involved in this. But if couples are listening and they say, I want to avoid divorce, what would you recommend they start with first?
I would start with talking about your sex life. Like, does it feel good to us? The times per week. What do we need from our sex life? When do I get the most aroused, turned on? Have I actually had an orgasm? Do you know how many women come to me and they say, I was with my partner for 30 years and I've been faking my pleasure the entire time? Or
I am curious, how many women? Like, what would you say?
I would say that the majority of women have faked an orgasm at some point in their lives. And then women who are faking it into their maybe 40% of women. It's really common.
Yeah.
Like, because we feel shame, because we look at orgasm should happen during penetration. But I want to remind women that for the majority of women, it's going to happen through like fingers, mouth, toys. Your orgasms are not going to happen in the way that we've been told it's going to happen. So I just think for couples, it's like prioritize intimacy, connection, calming your nervous systems together. A lot of the stuff that we place on hormones and even our brain and stress, it could be solved by learning to calm our nervous system regulation. breathing, exercise, movement, sound, focusing on your senses together, having a mindfulness practice together, even if it's just a reset where before we have sex, we're going to look into each other's eyes. I mean, I know people, I always feel like people are going to cringe, like, oh, shoot. But honestly, there's such power in like, we're going to look into the other's eyes for a minute, and then we're going to regulate. We're going to find once we do that, that our breath starts to quicken. It starts to regulate together. It starts to beat at the same pace. So just troubleshooting, like this, if it's a problem now, then it only gets worse if we don't pay attention to it. So just pay attention to your overall mental health, wellness, and your sexual health together, because sexual health is wellness. Like we think we're well overall, but if we are ignoring our sexual health, it's going to impact every other area of our life.
And